Dawn has just broken, and very soon this group, known as Earth First, will launch a daring raid on a huge timber merchants just outside Oxford. Tonight, the Earth Dwellers Guide reports exclusively on the birth and rapid growth of Britain's most militant greens. Earth First was founded in the USA in 1980. They advocate monkey wrenching or economic sabotage. Tactics include tree spiking to stop chainsaws, damaging bulldozers and property. They're now active all over the world, particularly strong in Australia. They're just taking root in the UK.
Earth First, profit last!
Tonight, what Earth First call the front line of the battle for life on Earth is a scout hut in Kent. Groups like this can now be found throughout Britain.
So, who fancies intercepting a huge freighter at 6 o'clock in the morning?
The freighter, the MV Singer Willstream, is due here at Tilbury Docks at dawn. It's carrying several thousand tons of rainforest timber from Sarawak, East Malaysia.
There are a number of boats, hopefully numbering 7 or more, which all of you, if you're willing, can come on to be involved in a direct action which will hopefully delay it or stop it coming into Tilbury. That will involve people chaining themselves, getting in the way, obstructing things, and runs a very high risk of getting arrested.
I'll just be there and kryptonite by chaining myself to a ladder on the side of the thing so the boat can't get into the port, and I'll be throwing away the key, and so I'll just be there and staying there as long as I can to stop the boat.
Can you hold that up? This is a strong bike lock.
Yeah, it's about as strong as you can get. I mean, they can still cut this, but it takes a long time.
Unfortunately, sometimes you have to break the law to uphold the law, and we're talking about a higher moral law. We're all going to die if the rainforest goes anyway, so why don't we die here?
The combined tonnage of the Singer Willstream was not going to be defeated by a kryptonite bike lock, although at some personal risk banners were attached to the side of the ship. But while the daylight demonstration raged at the dock gates, unloading of the timber got underway. A game of cat and mouse ensued as gangs of Earth Firsters broke into the docks, only to be picked up by the police.
Move back off the road, you're going to get injured.
But this action, one of the group's first, raised the question, how far would they go?
Destruction of property is okay, it's okay by me, it's not okay by others in Earth First. It can mean blockading things, occupying offices. It can also mean doing things like destroying bulldozers, monkey wrenching, economic sabotage against big business and companies, that sort of direct action.
Property doesn't bother me too much. Property can be repaired. Definitely it would be a total failure as far as I was concerned if somebody got hurt.
Maybe some of us have become a bit disillusioned with things like letter writing and petitions, and we realise that we've got to hit these people hard because there are a lot of vested interests in destroying the planet.
And in America, Earth First hit hard. An attempt to blowtorch the legs off this electricity pylon leading to a nuclear power station in Arizona landed Mark Davis and 4 others in jail. They may well have been influenced and guided by this book, Eco Defense, A Field Guide to Monkey Wrenching, written by the founders of Earth First. The authors write, power lines are highly vulnerable to monkey wrenching. They go on to explore the pros and cons of blowtorching, hacksawing, and even blasting the lines apart with a shotgun. This illustrated manual is full of tips on how to spike trees, booby-trap roads, and damage vehicles like bulldozers, described here as tools of destruction. And last month, Earth First UK carried out a monkey-wrenching textbook-style raid on 9 bulldozers at a peat extraction site in South Yorkshire. Fuel pipes were cut, sand was poured in petrol tanks, and seats slashed.
The action which took place on Fison's site at Thornmoor, where the peat is being extracted from this critically important wildlife habitat, was completely absurd, because it involved, for instance, damaging pumps being used to maintain the water levels in a part of the site which had been set aside for nature conservation. We're not prepared to work with any organisation which, in our view, is going to risk alienating the public from the urgent need for more effective protection for the environment.
Friends of the Earth work inside the law, and very successfully too. They cannot associate themselves with us because we break the law. They have their reputation to keep, and we have our very clear, separate way of working.
Any kind of peaceful direct action has to be thought through in a context of an overall campaign strategy. It's not here today, gone tomorrow, especially if someone else has to pick up the mess afterwards.
The city of Oxford has become something of a power base for Earth First. Last weekend, it wasn't the Women's Institute holding meetings in Cumnor Village Hall, but members of Earth First.
The whole purpose of the tactics is to show the police that we're causing chaos. But to us, it's totally organised. We must know what we're doing. There must be communication all the time between each side. This side, and people at the front.
The target, a company called Timmet, the second largest timber merchants in Britain, storing thousands of tons of tropical hardwood. The aim of the action is to close them down for a day.
This is a novelty of ours. We attach the snap hook on, and then you're solid. They try to cut through, you don't know where your hand is.
This school for eco-sabotage is certainly comprehensive. In the woods close to the timber yard, Earth Firsters learn climbing skills should they wish to attach themselves or a banner to a roof. Many expect to be arrested. There's help for them too.
And so if they want to take your fingerprints against your will, they have to do it in front of a magistrate, right? They have to get the magistrate to give the order that your fingerprints are taken. They have to give good reasons as well to the magistrate, right?
Well, I'm prepared to get arrested to lock myself to machinery, so I have to be cut away, just to sort of raise awareness about the issues, the cause of deforestation.
The property they've got there is a violence, it's a damage, and if you actually damage it, that actually is non-violence.
The eve of the raid, and word has reached the camp that extra dogs and security men have been brought into the timber yard. The following morning, after a miserable wet night under canvas, the mood is subdued.
Our mates, come on.
Within less than 30 minutes, Earth First were chained, bolted, lodged and perched all over the site, to the immense annoyance of the management and workers.
We just want to get on with the jobs. We've got mortgages to pay for. We've all got children, most of us. We're not doing nothing wrong.
We're going to join these millions of unemployed because there's no other work, is there? Unless we join these dipsticks and be dropouts, because that's all they are, isn't it? Just look at them.
In my opinion, they're exaggerating the position very, very considerably. There is a problem to be met, and the trade is gradually trying to meet it. From our company's point of view, 4 or 5 years ago, we were selling 80% of turnover in tropical hardwoods. That has dropped down to about 52%. Also, the demonstrators had the opportunity to bring to your attention what they consider is a very important matter, namely the destruction of the rainforest.
Earth First won the day. They closed the plant, the workers were sent home on full pay, and they even secured a meeting with the management.
It's a great victory for us today. We've really got our message across. We will keep up a presence here. We'll keep up letter writing campaigns. We're not going to let them alone until they stop dealing in other people's lives.
We will clearly see and hear a great deal more from Earth First, but some established green campaigners remain deeply concerned about the darker side of these deep greens.
We have to be very careful to make sure that that style of anti-environmental action does not actually get misrepresented as something which the environment movement supports. We decry it. We deny it. It has no place in a democracy which actually relies and must rely on public demanding that politicians deliver the goods.